sources. Let's listen in.
The clergy that's here that have joined me here today. And we are not surprised. We expected this. This is not surprising to us at all. The actions that have unfolded over the last 10 months, the leaks, the commentary, the demonizing, this did not surprise us that we reached this day. And I ask New Yorkers to wait to hear our defense before making any judgments. In about 30 minutes, you're going to hear a story of the case that is in front of us. This story will come from the federal prosecutors. And I ask to wait and hear our side to this narrative. From here, my attorneys will take care of the case so I can take care of the city. My day-to-day will not change. I will continue to do the job for 8.3 million New Yorkers that I was elected to do. And the 300,000 plus employees of our city government will continue to do their jobs, because this is what we do as New Yorkers. It's an insult to the hardworking people of the city that anyone would say that they won't do their jobs while this case proceeds in the background. They are dedicated public servants, and I have been one of them for many years. And they're going to continue to do their job, moving the city forward every day. It's an unfortunate day, and it's a painful day. But inside of all of that, it's a day where we will finally reveal why for 10 months I have gone through this. And I look forward to defending myself and defending the people of this city, as I've done throughout my entire professional career. I want to now turn it over to the person who started me on this journey, Reverend Herbert Daughtry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You are our mayor, and will be till time come, still will be our mayor. To all the supporters, irrespective of what people say, he's still our mayor. As he has indicated, we started on a journey a long time ago. I encouraged him to join the police department. He did, and you know the rest of the story. So, you know, Mr. Mayor Eric, it's one more battle we have to fight. Right, just one more battle we have to fight. And we're not about to quit. We're not about to give up. We'll be there. We'll be there to the end. God bless you. God be with you. We're going to win this fight.
That's right. And two, can we get an umbrella, put it on the device so the water won't get inside there, Robbie? Wait, hold on one moment. Hold on. You know we don't do this calling out stuff at my press conferences. When we finish speaking, we will respond to a few questions. I just want to cover that. Are you good, Robbie? I affectionately call her Mother Dukes, has been a head of the NAACP and just a leader that has mentored me throughout my entire journey. I want to now call up Mother Hazel Dukes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Hazel Dukes. I live in Harlem. I'm 90. Would you be quiet? Would you shut up? I'm 92 years of age. I've known this young man for over 40 years. I come with a heavy heart today, but my head is not unbowed. He's going to have his day in court, and we're going to stand by him. We came this morning to pray for him, because prayer changed things. I am asking all New Yorkers to hear his side, to let him have a day in court. Let him have his day in court, and then we can make our decisions. But we are not here today to criticize the federal government where you might be, but shush. That's all you do. That's all you brought here to criticize. Yeah. We are going to be here. We're going to be here.
I'm sorry, Mother Duke. Hey, brother, this is a 92-year-old elder. Show us some respect. A 92-year-old elder.
She stands next to you. She stands next to Cuomo. As the NAACP, as the 501c3, you should not be standing for a political candidate. Stop that. You're always in favor. You are always in favor of the capital.
Go ahead, Mother Duke.
Don't respond to them hate.
Go ahead, Mother Duke.
We are calling on all New Yorkers to listen carefully, not to the loudmouths, but listen to facts and figures. His lawyers will go and do our work for us, and we will stand with this mayor. Right.
Thank you. We want to now bring one of our amazing bishops up forward now. Bishop.
You're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment to black people. You're an embarrassment to black people.
We are admonished to be angry.
Well, joining me right now, Newsday columnist Joy Brown. Mayor Adams is speaking there. A lot of agitators had a lot to say as he speaks after that indictment came through.
Well, I wouldn't call them agitators. I call them supporters. Okay. But the one, he's standing firm. He's basically, see what he said was, I ask, wait, hear our side to this narrative. Critical again of the federal government. And one of the people that he brought up that we just heard from is 92-year-old Hazel Dukes. She said she lives in Harlem. She is well known on Long Island, where she also used to live, head of the NAACP. She says she has known the mayor for 40 years and she's going to stand by him. The bottom line on this is that no indication that he's going to resign, step down, step back. And it was kind of interesting that he jumped in before the feds had their say on what this extremely damaging indictment has to say about his actions since he was the borough president back in 2014.
Yeah, he said he's looking forward to defending himself. And when I was saying agitators, I was saying, did you hear people interrupting Mother Duke speak as she was trying to relay?
Well, I did not hear, as you well know, other people interrupt her. So you can tell this is not a great day for New York City, and not just because of the indictment. You've had a lot of things go on. School chancellor gone, police commissioner gone, other city officials gone. We don't know. We know now what is being said about the mayor. We've yet to hear the results of other ongoing investigations into other people that he chose to staff his administration with.
Yeah, for a moment, let's just kind of take this back a little bit. Go back to the timeline. I know you've been following this for some time. When this investigation began.
Well, which investigation? I think we can, if we're going to start, we'll start in 2023. The FBI goes into the home of a 23-year-old chief fundraiser to Eric Adams. Then, that's in November. Same day, they go into the home of an aide in the mayor's international affairs office and a former Turkish Airlines executive who served on the mayor's transition team. Then, a few days later, the FBI takes the mayor's cell phones, his iPad. Then he announces that the chief fundraiser, this 23-year-old, her name is Brianna Suggs, is out. She's gone. We don't wait too long into 2024 before things start popping off again. You've got, and this is unrelated, a retired police inspector pleads guilty to funneling illegal funds to the mayor's campaign, and maybe that does have something to do with this indictment today. The FBI is searching the mayor's Asian affairs advisor, searches that home. There's new subpoenas that go out. Then we get into September, and they're seizing the telephones of the police commissioner, the first deputy mayor, the school's chancellor. Then, as I said before, you got bam, 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 police commissioner resigns. Chief counsel, his chief counsel resigns. Then you keep going. Then you have the health commissioner says, I'm going to resign, but he apparently does not have anything to do with all of this.
So you hear about all these vacancies, essentially, with his administration. What do the people of New York have to, I mean, as a New Yorker, how do you respond to this? How do you go day to day?
Well, somebody's got to run the government. And some of these things are pretty important. The police department, you know, there's an acting police commissioner there right now, right? But what's going to come next, you've had other people in the department that they're looking at, how deep does this go? What kind of corruption is this, right? Schools, very important in New York City. If I've got a kid in that school, the chancellor is out, there's an acting chancellor, well, they have somebody in there right now. But again, what does that mean for the future under this administration and for the policies that this administration had wanted to put into place? You got to have people to put those policies and make them work. When everybody's getting ready to go, it's a crisis. It's a governing crisis.
Now, we know that Mayor Adams was refusing to step down, and the governor has the power to remove him. What do you make of that?
Well, the governor can, and we've not heard yet from Governor Hochul. And I don't know when or if we're going to hear from Governor Hochul, but given that the mayor is clearly saying that he has zero plans on stepping back and that he has all plans to step forward and to defend himself, it would be in her court right now, squarely in her court.
So I know we talked about what's happening next. Jumaane Williams, who as New York City's public advocate would become mayor if Mayor Adams were to step down.
If he were to step down, Jumaane Williams would become mayor. And it'd be the first time that ever happened. Of course, we've never had a mayor indicted, a sitting mayor indicted, no less. And then he would have to decide what the mechanism is for having an election. But he could also run for mayor of New York City. And this is as we're looking forward to Democratic primary in June of next year. And a Democratic primary in New York City usually determines who the mayor is going to be in the general election. And you've got 4 other people stepping up. And I think you've also got a wild card in there someplace in former Governor Andrew Cuomo. I mean, everything's open right now.
Yeah, everything's on the table. I want to talk about hours before the indictment detailing the criminal charges. Mayor Adams' phone was seized again this morning.
Well, that's kind of an interesting thing. Now, remember, they had taken his phone and his iPad. They probably cloned everything that was on it, and they gave it back. So why do you show up at 6 o'clock in the morning with vans and everybody and their grandmother going in to get a phone from him right at that point in time? They tend to do that when they want to get evidence that they don't think they're going to be able to get any other way. Now, Adams' lawyer says, hey, we would have given the thing to you, but clearly the government felt that they needed that phone and they needed to get it.
Okay, well, Joy, Adams is actually taking questions right now. Let's listen in.
Prosecutors who gave the direct order. I don't know. We should ask. When it comes.
Okay, so the audio, we're having some audio issues there, but obviously this has been a historic day for New York.
Well, not only is it a historic day, but look at the mayor. He's there. He's answering questions. He's decided, I'm going to stay here. I'll answer every question that you have. You know, listen to my side. Listen to my side.
So, you know, also the press conference that starts in about 6 minutes or so. Do you think this was strategic by Mayor Adams by having this moment before the unsealed indictment is revealed to the public?
Well, the unsealed indictment was, we already seen that. What we're going to hear from is U.S. attorneys in the Southern District who are going to tell us what is in that indictment. And clearly, he went out and he wanted to get in front of it. He wanted to let us know, let everybody know, let New York know, let the world know that I'm not stepping down. I don't care what these people have to say.
You talk about the charges. Let's talk about them. They're unsealed. What did you make of the indictment, Joy?
Well, I mean, the thing that got me was the period of time that this indictment covers. It starts in 2014 when now Mayor Adams is then the Brooklyn borough chief. And what they're saying is, hey, you know, he started to get these contributions, to solicit these contributions. He started on a road that would enrich his coffers by getting money from foreign nationals and from other, and not only getting money, but kind of funneling it through. So this was something that started and kept going on. And it kept going on to the point where the indictment says that he was making plans and setting up to get contributions for his campaign, next campaign. So they're giving you an arc of activity here. Not one thing, not even one country, and not even one way of getting contributions. It's pretty detailed. But the thing that struck out to me was the arc of time here.
So I want to take this back to Long Island. Does this at any point maybe indicate maybe political fallout even here on the island?
Well, political fallout, probably not, but you have to understand a couple of things. Long Island and New York City are tied together. Tied together. Now, the police commissioner, the former police commissioner before the police commissioner who resigned, was a very prominent woman in the Nassau County Police Department. And I would love to talk to her because she went over to the city and not too long after getting there, she was like, yo, I am out. I'm out. And it was then that the next commissioner, Caban, came in, and he's the one that has been stepped down and he's resigned. And many of the same people. So she would have been there when some of these other people were there. Mm-hmm. So she's probably got I don't know because I haven't talked to her, but it would be interesting to hear what she's got to say, going from a Nassau County culture to a New York City culture.
What could this mean for our elections here?
I don't know that it is going to mean much of anything. Again, in New York City is New York City, and Long Island, we spend a lot of time here saying that we're not New York City, even though, again, we're tied. You know, a lot of the jobs, people who work in the city live on Long Island. People who have businesses in the city live on Long Island. People who police the city live on Long Island. So, and, you know, we get a big bang out of the bonuses, the Wall Street bonuses here. That helps our economy. But thank God we're not talking about those Wall Street bonuses and helping our economy. But overall, I think what it does is it puts an eye on corruption. And for us on Long Island, it's sort of a continuum, in that we've had our Nassau County executive, you know, and he went to jail for corruption. Our Suffolk County District Attorney went to jail for corruption. What it says is, you know, how much corruption do we know about? And I guess further, how much corruption is it that we're going to take, as it were?
We got about 3 minutes before this press conference begins. But last night in a speech, Adams claiming he had, and I want to mention this because I meant to mention this earlier, Adams claiming that he may have been a target in a case based on lies.
Well, I don't know what those lies are, so I can't. But the other thing he said was, the feds are coming after me because I said bad things about them. And what he's talking about is the migrant crisis in New York City. And he asked for help. And he asked for a lot of help. And he needed a lot of help. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, all of these people are there. He's saying basically, because I asked for help, they're coming to get me.
Could we potentially, it doesn't seem like he will surrender, but could we see an arrest maybe this week, next week, possibly?
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. When they indict you, they can send the U.S. Marshals after you to arrest you, or you can turn yourself in to be arrested. That's what they're talking about.
So when the mayor does go to court, it will be at the federal courthouse for the Southern District of New York.
Yes.
It has to make sense to everybody who's logical. It has to make sense to everybody who's logical. You sound like Donald Trump.
The allegations seem to be going on what we've been reporting for at least a year, almost a year. What do you say to that? I mean, you said you traveled to these countries and you denied that you took anything back from these countries. You denied that you intervened on behalf of the Turkish government trying to get this guy straight.
What's your question?
Yeah, that's elaborate.
I'm not saying he denies all the allegations in the 54-page indictment. Have you guys
Apparently, he's fighting back.
Listen,
He's fighting back. That's your answer.
My legal team is going to peruse the entire indictment. We got it today when it was released. The news media received information before we did, as they have been receiving for the last 10 months. It appears as though the goal is to try this case publicly and not in the criminal justice system that's in place. And so we, based on what I read, it's clear that if it's campaign violations, I know I don't violate the campaign.
Right.
If it's foreign donors, I know I don't take money from foreign donors. And I verbalize that to the team, both in writing and both in communication. And we will continue to do that. And we look forward for the legal team to handle this as I handle the city of New York and continue the success that we've witnessed in the last 2 years and 9 months as a member of the city of New York.
New York strong! New York strong!
Resign! 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 Resign!
With chants screaming out where people are saying, you need to resign, 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 sending a very direct message to Mayor Adams.
Absolutely, and drowning him out as he continues to defend himself. Now, the calls for his resignation have been crescendoing over the past few days, and I don't think that it's going to get any better. You'll notice the press conferences, he came back to defend himself again. Once those resign came up, you see they're walking away now because that's not good. You don't want people to see that.
There were multiple interruptions
Yes.
with this press conference.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, did you expect something like this?
It's New York City. That's what I would expect. But the other thing is, again, if you look at everything, it's not just this indictment against him. It's in a way, people are looking at his entire administration now as corrupt or potentially corrupt. And again, the people of New York City, they're going to demand governance. And also, we're going to be in campaign season. People have already come out saying, I want to be the next New York City mayor. Part of this is get out of my way.
Yeah, you hear the comptroller already saying it.
It's not just the comptroller, it's everybody, almost everybody and their grandmother saying it right now, which again is going to put pressure on Governor Hochul. Is she going to let him stay there, or is she going to say, enough, out, let's move on?
Again, for those who are just joining us right now, Joy, if we can break down some of the charges that Mayor Adams is facing.
He's facing 5 counts of corruption charges, she said while she looked for her notes. Wire fraud charges. They're saying that he soliciting campaign funds from foreign nationals. And I think that, I would imagine that when we hear from the prosecutors, they're going to talk a little bit about potential, what the sentences might be for any and all of these potential, all of these crimes alleged in this indictment.
Yeah, because he's accused of accepting bribes and illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources. And prior to that, we've seen a number of resignations.
Yeah, we have. But the other part about this is accepting bribes is that there's a part of the indictment that says, okay, so he accepted bribes, and I'm going to make this real. Well, he got $10,000 worth of stuff, right? New York City has a campaign matching plan. So that $10,000 worth of illegal stuff turned into $20,000 for his campaign. So it just compounded it.
And we know this was a 52-page indictment. Was there anything else that shocked you?
I think, again, the thing that got me was the arc of time and how sophisticated it became over time. And they made a point of saying that at some point in time, you know, the Turkish government demanded something in return, but at the same time, the mayor got to the point where he was demanding things as part of this alleged quid pro quo.
And just a moment ago, I don't know if you saw the screen, we got a kind of a glimpse of all of the charges that he's facing as we get ready for this press conference that should be starting any minute now.
Yeah, I expect that we're going to hear from Damon Williams. He is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District. I would imagine that we're also going to hear from James Dennehy, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's New York office, and also Jocelyn Strober. She's the commissioner of the city's Department of Investigations. So it shows that everybody was in here. And what's interesting about this is when you usually see these things, the police department is part of it, but the police department doesn't appear to be a part of this investigation. I don't know what that tells us, but that just tells us that they're not here.
Okay, so I'm kind of looking ahead here. How long would a trial have to take place? Because I know I've saw that Adams had mentioned that if he were to go through this, he would want this to be a speedy trial.
Well, he's supposed to get a speedy trial under the law, but you know there's pre-trial, so the government will have to turn over all of its evidence to his defense attorneys, right? But we haven't even gotten to where he's been taken into custody yet. We're nowhere near any of that right now.
Yes, we're thinking ahead.
Bail, you know, does he get bail? Does he not get bail? How does this work? Who's paying the bail? We got a lot of throat clearing to do before we get to a trial, even if we get to a trial at all.
I know we talked a little bit about the schools, because the school's chancellor, Mr. Banks.
Good morning,
said that
everyone.
he's going to
Thank you
resign.
for gathering.
Here we go. The press conference
My name is
beginning.
Williams, and I'm the United States Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal, and even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him. We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities. The mayor had a duty to disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what. But as we allege, after year, he kept the public in the dark. He told the public he received no gifts, even though he was secretly being showered with them. We allege that Adams accepted these benefits knowing that they were given to him because of his position. And in exchange for some of those improper benefits, he intervened in the New York City Fire Department's inspection process for a building owned and operated by the Turkish government, allowing it to open even though it had not passed the fire inspection. The corruption alleged in the indictment is, as I said, running. As we allege in the indictment, Adams' solicitation of illegal campaign contributions began in 2018. After he started raising funds for his 2021 mayoral campaign, he agreed to take contributions offered by multiple Turkish businessmen, several of whom he met in Turkey. Adams knew that these wealthy individuals could not legally donate in a U.S. election. Federal law clearly prohibits foreign donations. That's how we protect our elections from foreign influence. Yet Adams directed his staff to pursue this illegal money to support his campaign for mayor. And as we allege, Adams continued to pursue foreign money in secret well into 2021. And it didn't stop with his first campaign for mayor. As we allege, in 2023, the mayor rekindled these corrupt relationships, seeking more illegal campaign contributions from some of the same foreign sources to support his re-election campaign. Adams also took contributions that broke other laws. As we allege, he sought contributions from businessmen far in excess of what the law allowed. He also allegedly sought contributions from corporations, which are not allowed to contribute at all, in New York City elections. Many of those illegal corporate contributions were organized by the same people who organized the illegal foreign contributions. And Adams allegedly disguised them all in the same way by accepting the money through so-called straw donors. A straw donor contributes someone else's money, hiding the money's illegal source, such as a foreign businessman, a corporation, or a wealthy New Yorker who has already contributed the maximum amount allowed. And as we allege, Adams circumvented all of these laws, taking contributions from exactly the sources the law prohibits, all to benefit his mayoral campaigns. Now, Adams also personally benefited from the illegal conduct alleged in the indictment. Adams solicited and accepted over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits for years from wealthy Turkish business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. Adams started accepting undisclosed travel benefits at least as early as 2016. He took these benefits nearly every year through 2021. Here are some of the benefits that we uncovered during our investigation. In 2016, Adams flew to India through Turkey and received 2 free round-trip upgrades for business class seats. That's the highest class on Turkey's national airline. Those upgrades were worth more than $12,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2017, Adams accepted free business class tickets for himself and his travel companions to France, Turkey, and China. And he was put up in the Bentley suite in the St. Regis Hotel in Istanbul. All of that was worth more than $41,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. Also in 2017, he flew to China, again, through Turkey, and accepted 2 free business class tickets for himself and a companion. Those were worth more than $16,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2018, he flew to Hungary through Turkey and accepted free business class seats. Those were worth more than $12,000, and none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2019, he flew to Turkey and accepted a free upgrade to business class for his companion and a free stay in a lavish suite at the St. Regis Hotel in Istanbul. That was worth more than $9,000. And again, none of it was publicly disclosed. In 2021, Adams solicited business class tickets to Istanbul, stays at luxury hotels and resorts, yacht tours, and meals. As we allege, he asked to pay a nominal fee, all of this in order to disguise what we allege were in fact bribes. He canceled that trip at the very last minute, but the benefits that he solicited were worth more than $21,000. And later in 2021, Adams flew to Ghana, again, through Turkey, and accepted free business class ticket upgrades and other gifts while he was on a layover in Istanbul. Those benefits were worth more than $12,000. And just like all the other benefits I've just run through, none of it was publicly disclosed. Now, I want to be clear. These upgrades and freebies were not part of some frequent flyer or loyalty program available to the general public. As we allege, this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a single New York City politician on the rise, Eric Adams. Now, this is a chart with all of the undisclosed travel benefits that we uncovered during the investigation. We just list it all out here. You see the year, 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2 in 2021. The destination, India all the way to Ghana. The benefits, the free upgrades or free tickets altogether, the hotel stays, and the value. And if you just sum up all the dollar amounts here, you get to more than $100,000. And of course, as I said before, every single trip that we list here was undisclosed. As we allege in the indictment, in addition to not disclosing these benefits, Adams sometimes created fake paper trails to try to cover the travel benefits he solicited and received. Let me give you one example. Adams wrote emails to his staff suggesting he paid for his 2017 business class flights on the Turkish airline when, as we allege, he did not. Those flights were worth a lot of money. Just one ticket alone cost more than $10,000. But months after taking the flights, Adams wrote an email to a staff member and told the staff member that he had left cash in her desk drawer and that she should send the money to the Turkish airline to pay for a trip he had already taken. As the indictment makes clear, That's just a clumsy cover-up. Now, just because Adams received benefits for free, that doesn't mean that there weren't strings attached. As we allege, a particular Turkish government official behind many of the benefits Adams sought and accepted gave Adams all these things to gain influence over him. We allege that Adams knew that and took the benefits anyway. We allege that when the Turkish government official needed him, Adams also took corrupt official action in exchange for some of the luxury travel benefits. In 2021, the Turkish government official was trying to open a brand new high-rise building in Manhattan that would house Turkey's consulate. There was significant time pressure because the Turkish official desperately needed the building to be open in time for a visit from Turkey's president. The building was important to the Turkish official, and it was important to Turkey. But the FDNY's fire safety professionals wouldn't let the building open because the building hadn't passed an inspection. And not just that. Some of the people at the FDNY thought the building had so many issues and defects that the building was not safe to occupy. So the Turkish official sent word to Adams that it was, quote, his turn, unquote, to support Turkey. And as we allege, Adams delivered and pressured the fire department to let the building open. The FDNY professionals were convinced that they would lose their jobs if they didn't back down. And so they did. They got out of the way and let the building open. The Turkish official got what he wanted, and as we explained in the indictment, just 4 days after Adams held up his end of the bargain, he went right back to soliciting more travel benefits for Turkish airline. Now, I want to make 3 things crystal clear. First, the conduct alleged in the indictment, the foreign money, the corporate money, the bribery, the years of concealment, is a grave breach of the public's trust. Public office is a privilege. We allege that Mayor Adams abused that privilege and broke the law. Laws that are designed to ensure that officials like him serve the people, not the highest bidder, not a foreign bidder, and certainly not a foreign power. These are red lines, and we allege that the mayor crossed them again and again for years. That is the only reason we are here today. Second, this investigation continues. We continue to dig, and we will hold more people accountable. And I encourage anyone with information to come forward and to do so before it is too late. And third, the Southern District of New York remains committed to rooting out corruption without fear or favor and without regard to partisan politics. We are not focused on the right or the left. We are focused only on right and wrong. That is our duty, and we will fulfill it. Now, today's charges are the product of a tremendous partnership. I want to thank our partners at FBI and the New York City Department of Investigation who have been with us every step of the way. And finally, I want to commend the outstanding career prosecutors from SDNY who are handling this case. Celia Cohen, Andrew Rohrbach, Hagen Scotton, and Derek Wickstrom, and the chiefs of the Public Corruption Unit, Laura Pomerantz and Robert Sobelman. It's now my pleasure to turn the podium over to FBI Assistant Director in Charge, James Dennehy.
Good morning. Thank you for being here today. The indictment of a sitting mayor is not just another headline. It is a stinging reminder that no one is above the law or beyond reproach. And it serves as a sobering moment for all of us who place our trust in elected officials. Today's indictment sends a powerful message to every elected official in this country. Public service is a profound responsibility and should be a noble calling. When that's perverted by greed and dishonesty, it robs us of our trust. It's a pact between leaders and their communities, built on the pillars of trust, accountability, and transparency. When that is broken, the consequences ripple far beyond one office or one election cycle. We know not all leaders are corrupt. We know there are countless public servants who wake up every day with the intention of doing right by their constituents. But we cannot ignore the shadow cast by moments like this. When trust is eroded, it takes years, sometimes decades, to build. The weight of today's actions falls not just on the indicted official, but on every other public official who must now work harder to earn the public's confidence in them. It's important to remember accountability isn't just about punishing those with alleged wrongdoings. It's about lifting the communities they've let down. It's about rebuilding, restoring, and reimagining what public servants can and should do. It's up to us to demand more from our leaders, to hold them to the highest standards, and to remind them that the power of public office should never be abused. While some may be disappointed today, let me encourage you not to be defeated. The strength of our communities, our faith in one another, and our collective resilience are far greater than the alleged failings of any one individual. In closing, I'd like to thank the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, and his office, Commissioner Jocelyn Strauber and the New York City Department of Investigation and her team, as well as my team, the Public Corruption Squad here at FBI New York. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome up Commissioner Jocelyn Strauber from the New York City Department of Investigation.
Thank you, Damian. Good morning. Today, for the first time in New York City's modern history, we announce criminal charges against the sitting mayor of New York City. As our highest elected official, the mayor should set the standard for all of city government and exemplify the integrity, transparency, and dedication to serving the public that all New Yorkers deserve. Instead, the indictment unsealed today alleges that Mayor Adams abused his power and position for nearly a decade as Brooklyn Borough President and as mayor to enrich himself and his mayoral campaigns. As charged, he sought and received illegal campaign contributions, luxury travel, and other personal benefits from foreign nationals, as well as individuals and businesses. He allegedly took steps to conceal those illegal contributions and benefits and involved city employees and campaign staff in that concealment. As the indictment explains, this kind of corruption has real costs to the city and to the public. As alleged, the mayor's 2021 campaign falsely certified compliance with campaign finance laws in order to conceal those illegal campaign contributions, and as a result of those false certifications, received over $10 million in public matching funds. The mayor's alleged acceptance and concealment of illegal contributions and personal benefits gave overseas benefactors, wealthy individuals, and businesses undue influence over the mayor, influence that federal and local laws seek to prevent. And as charged, in exchange for certain personal benefits, the mayor pressured the New York City Fire Department to forego a required fire safety inspection before the opening of the new Turkish consulate building. As the city's Inspector General, the Department of Investigation, a city agency, conducts its investigations confidentially and wholly independent of City Hall. We handled this investigation as we would any other, following the facts and seeking to hold wrongdoers accountable no matter their role or title. Our unique access to city records and expertise in matters of city government make us a critical partner in the fight to root out corruption, working closely with our law enforcement colleagues at the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office. If you have information about this case or about illegal conduct by any New York City official or employee, I encourage you to contact DOI by email at at doi.nyc.gov or by phone at 212-825-2828. I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York and the FBI for their partnership on this investigation. And I want to recognize and thank the dedicated, hardworking DOI investigators who are handling this matter. Senior Inspector General Eleanor Rivkin, Inspector General Audrey Feldman, Deputy Inspectors General Arturo Sanchez, and Trenton Sweeney.
Well, there you had it. A 57-page, 5-count federal indictment unsealed on Thursday, charging Mayor Adams with bribery, wire fraud, and accepting improper campaign contributions. We just heard from a number of individuals, including Damian Williams Jr., the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Joy, what do you make of that?
Oh, well, I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing. As I said, the first thing that struck me was the arc of all of this, which they say, by the way, started in 2018. Damian Williams, he says, this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a New York City politician on the rise, Eric Adams, that he knew that they were trying to buy favors, but he accepted the favors anyway. The other thing that was most interesting to me is there was discussion about straw donors. And to make it really simple, a straw donor is somebody who gives money to a campaign on behalf of somebody who's not supposed to be giving money to a campaign. That's right. And on that score, it's kind of interesting because Damian Williams also said the investigation continues. And if you know something, you better speak up now before we come to see you. He says we have more people available. That they're going to be looking at more people.
So that's a warning.
That's an invitation to come see them before they come and see you. And the other thing I'd like to talk about just briefly is you asked me what impact is this on Long Island. I thought about that when we heard from James Dennehy, the FBI guy. And what he says is the weight of today's action falls not just on an individual official, but on every other public official who must now work harder to earn the public's trust. That is relevant to Long Island.
And they also broke down the many benefits that he received. I know we don't have all the time to go through all of them, but several trips allegedly paid through Turkey to India, China, Hungary. Some of them even costing upwards to $41,000, the hotel visit that he had.
Well, I looked at this and I did write them all down. It comes to more than $100,000. And what impressed me was, wow, good travel costs a lot of money. But the other part about this was they said he did not disclose it. He kept the public in the dark. Williams says. He deliberately kept the public in the dark. And also tried to make it appear as though he was paying some stuff when in fact he really wasn't paying some stuff. And in one instance, directing somebody in his office, hey, can you go in the drawer? There's a whole pile of cash. Can you take that cash over and give it to some fella, some Turkish fella someplace? I mean, extraordinary stuff.
Yeah. Well, earlier, the mayor held a news conference defending himself, and here's part of what he said.
We are not surprised. We expected this. This is not surprising to us at all. It's an unfortunate day, and it's a painful day. But inside of all of that, it's a day when we will finally reveal why for 10 months I have gone through this. And I look forward to defending myself and defending the people of this city as I've done throughout my entire professional career.
Well, what do you make of that?
Well, I mean, he's saying that this is an ending. No, this is a beginning. This is a beginning, and we're basically looking at the tip of an iceberg based on what We heard from the prosecutor's press conference today, and based on what we are seeing in terms of federal officials looking into other aspects of Mayor Adams' government, I think probably the best summary I could probably give you comes from Hazel Dukes, and the last thing she said, quote, "Prayer changes things." And in this particular instance, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of praying going on.
Yeah, he'll need that. He's accused of accepting bribes and illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources. And Joy, I thank you for your insight on all of this. For those of you watching, read more about the indictment on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.